Hi everyone, it's Kamaya again at Day of Life of ICPA, and let me tell you, it's been a gas. I got so many wonderful episodes to show you, and this one's going to be really good. I've got a wonderful mom joining us today. Alex, how are you?
Hi, good. Thank you for having me.
So, I understand that you call yourself a momager.
I do.
You do. So, quick definition, 30 seconds or less. What is a momager?
In my term, a manager is the one, behind the scenes. I read the scripts, I read the legal part of it, what's going to happen on the day of, what's happening before, because I like to know what we're getting ourselves into, what I'm getting my children into.
Got you.
Yeah, so I'm the one that does
The research.
the research, the spying, making those prank, not prank calls, but those phone calls, asking weird questions.
Okay, so you know where I'm going with this. So did you do that when you were looking and researching ICPA?
Absolutely. You better believe I called the school and asked some random questions. They're like, what is this? I'm like, don't worry about it. Click.
So obviously you decided that this was a good school for your children.
Yeah.
And you've heard the term tiger mamas, and they go to bat, don't mess with that mama bear, And I love your story because you were so vested in your children. Which,
Absolutely.
thank you for that, because most parents aren't. But you are. And so how did you come to this decision to choose ICPA for your children?
Over 2 years ago, me and my husband decided our kids are done with public school. So this school was not in the picture. Nothing was in the picture. The only thing was the most affordable alternative would be homeschool. Because when you look around and you hear performing arts, or you hear conservatory or private,
Expensive.
those are scary words,
Yes.
right? Those are scary words for people that, are kind of like middle class, kind of already struggling.
Right.
So when I heard about the school, I actually heard about the school because I was calling around looking for guitar lessons, I think, for my son. And I was referred by a mutual friend of mine, Mr. Coleman's. And I called him, he's like, oh yeah, I do lessons, but we also have a performing arts school. And I was like, what?
Your ears went.
Yeah, yeah, because again, we're looking for an alternative for our children to, what are we going to do now? Like, this is a huge life change that our kids are never going back to public school.
Right.
So, so finding that path was challenging, but it was meant to be when I had made that phone call and asked a bunch of questions.
When you spied.
When I did the spy.
Let's be clear, when you spied.
Yeah, when I did the spy. Right, exactly. And I'm very open-minded to the pros and cons. That's just how I have to be in life.
Sure.
Can't just be biased. So obviously there's pros, obviously there's cons.
Of course.
So,
let me ask you this then. When you made your decision, you're a momager, you did your research, you spied, you figured it out, you said, you know what, they kind of offer everything. And then let's go to the first day. What was your first impression when you first walked through the door and you said, okay, my kid's going to go here, I make the decision. What were your thoughts?
Sure. Mr. Coleman allowed me and my husband to come in during operational hours. So when the children, the students were here, and my first impression was, School of Rock? What?
Yeah, different.
It was very exciting to see the stage, to see the instruments, and to see these kids talking about music. They're actually, rehearsing maybe what they were going to be performing. It was absolutely amazing, and I was just like, and I had to tell my children. I had to tell my kids. I was very excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So your kids have now, how long have they been here?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
So what have you seen in your children as a mom? You hope and you pray you find them in some karate lesson or some dance lesson or whatever, and you made this decision, your family made this decision, you did the research, and now your kids are in the program. What was something that you started to immediately see in those first couple of months that they were in the program that you liked?
A discipline. I'm more of a disciplinary, so I'm okay with others disciplining my children, which I think is hard for some parents.
Sure.
To accept that. Nowadays it's a little different. So when I would pick up the kids from school, get home, do homework, do dinner, I didn't even have to tell them it was time to practice their music. they knew I got to get to my either where the music our music room is or where their own room is to practice the music.
So that was a methodology that you felt ICPA
Yeah.
really was like, okay, if you're coming to this school,
Yeah.
this isn't just mamby-pamby, play around and then show up next week for your lessons.
Right.
You need to practice.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
And I don't come from a music background. So for them to know that that's what they had, like they already knew, okay, after homework, or after academics, then we go to the room and we practice.
That's awesome.
And you hear the same song over and over and over again. You hear it restart, replay, replay. And that's just, I was in wow. Me and my husband were like, wow,
These are our babies.
Yeah.
They're learning
They're
something.
learning, yeah.
That's
It's
awesome.
really, yeah.
So, I ask you these questions because I know that you did the research, and a lot of parents out there probably would be thinking the same thing. Well, that's great. I don't know, but what about like academics? Are they state standard? Are my kids going to fail, what California state standards are as far as academic achievement so they can graduate and go on to college if they decide, to pursue higher education. How did you feel about the academic program?
That's a completely different kind of organization. So that again was very new to me. I'm used to public school
Right.
curriculum. I think a lot has to do with your education specialist. They call them ESs.
Right.
They're assigned to you when you pick what charter school you're going to go with. When we made our decision, we were welcomed with a great education specialist, and she was one that was willing to answer all my questions,
Good.
to take her time to email me what I needed to read because she couldn't answer my questions. Because I think in the beginning you feel alone, you feel, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? Oh my gosh, how are we going to have time to make this work?
Right.
I also work full time. And so it's a lot easier than I was stressing out about.
That's good to hear.
So, yeah. So in the beginning, because at the end of the day, the parents are the teachers.
Mm-hmm.
So
We should be.
yeah, right.
Not all want that job.
And right, and you have to be willing to embrace that and come to grips that that's if you want to homeschool your kids, that's the future. I think it really helps too if you know other homeschool parents that are willing to share. Like there was some homeschool parents here at the school that I even had questions for about,
Awesome.
So I asked a lot of questions just so I can understand and I can help others.
So it was more community.
Yeah.
You felt like the school offered not just academics, not just music theory and, I'm learning instruments and they're learning discipline, but then you felt that you actually had this community of other
Yeah.
people and parents that were sharing like-minded thoughts
Yeah, I
for the
asked
success
questions
of
to
their
the parents,
kids.
how did you
Right.
figure that out? Or, and so I'm able, so it makes you feel better, because they're like, well, their kids have been here for years now and they're
Right.
flourishing and,
Right.
so I know that that's a possibility for our situation.
So what's the biggest growth that you have seen in your children since they've been here now 2 years, you said, right?
Yeah.
What do you think it is that you can see like, wow, that, ooh,
So in the beginning, we thought, they're going to just learn some instruments and they're going to have fun. But now it's serious. It's they're being trained for the future.
wow.
And I get teary-eyed about this because so opposite of what we came into, especially with taking them out of public school and saying that's it. Well, what's next?
What's your future?
Well,
Do you have one?
yeah, I have a future now.
That's
So
awesome.
and even knowing that I had to do this on camera, I wandered up thinking about it. So sorry.
No,
Sorry for
don't
the kids.
apologize. I mean, you're a
They're happy
heartfelt
kids.
mom. You're a passionate mommy.
They're happy tears, yeah.
A passionate
They
mom.
are. Yeah.
Well, we love it. We're so grateful that you are that passionate and that
Yeah.
you chose ICP.
Well, my kids are the passionate ones. You see the kids, and it's not just my kids. I feel like a lot of these kids are my kids too. Tonight we're gonna go support some kids, you know, performing at a local venue, and I'm excited. It's like they're my, you know, my kids aren't performing, these are other kids, but I feel like they're my kids. It is like a tight-knit community, and you have to be willing to accept that, because if you don't, it's not going to work.
Exactly.
It's not going to work.
Well, in life, you know, one of the unique differentiating things that I've noticed about Mr. Coleman and his wife and the way that they run this conservatory is that they truly, truly believe in creating the atmosphere of excellence in academics and relationships, life skills, and they're training up future colleagues, you know, people that are actually going to be in the industry that they're going to work with one day. I mean, so many of the graduates, they're teachers now, you know, and what a future. I mean, who does that anymore? You know, I'm old school too. I homeschooled my kids all the way up, so I remember going through those year by year, is this going to work, you know? But what's one thing then, as we close, that you would say to other parents out there that are, you know, spying, figuring it out, making the decisions you made? What would you say about? What would you say about ICPA to them? What would you tell them?
I would say that, because I think a lot of people think finances. I know that's what I thought. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to afford a school like this.
Right.
I think the very most important thing, unfortunately, I mean, it's not, but when it comes to our pockets, it is.
Sure.
Can I afford this school? Because I really want my kids to come. I really want to, or, you know, check it out. I think people are even scared to check it out because they think, oh my gosh, what if I like it? What if we love it? What if we want to send our kids here? We're not going to be able to afford it, right? I mean, when I tell my friends how much it is, and then they're like thinking, oh, a month, right? I'm like, a year. Like, that's it. And they're just like, what? You know, and, you know, so just not to be afraid to come and look and ask questions.
There you go.
As I did, make phone calls. Don't believe everything you read, though. That's very important, you know. But I think that goes for everything. Any kind of restaurant you're trying to review, whatever it is you are trying to review, there's always going to be good and bad. So you take it with a grain of salt, but do your own. You know, don't just believe what everybody's saying. Like, do your own recon.
Well, I appreciate you joining us, Monica. You've been a pleasure. I promised you a good episode, and here it is. We're going to rewind this and probably play it like 4 or 5 times, so look forward to Miss Alex. And what are your sons' names?
My sons are Jude Reyes and Noah Reyes.
Oh, man, I hope to have them on, too. That would be really, really wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right.